Kathy. I'm Melissa.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Thanks for coming in today.
Thank you.
So, I just wanted to meet with you today so that I could find out a little bit more about you, ask you some questions, just kind of find out what your likes, your dislikes are, your goals, your barriers, so all the things that I can so that I can make a more personalized, tailored exercise program for you the next time we meet. Okay?
Okay.
So if it's okay with you, I'm just going to start with some really simple questions.
Yeah, that sounds great.
Okay. Well, the first thing I wanted to know is what brings you in today?
Well, I'm 56 years old, so I realize at my age I have to get more physically active, just to prevent some of the bad things that happen with old age. So I work out a few times a week maybe, but I feel like I should just be doing more to really work on my fitness.
Okay. Sounds like your health is important to you, and it's more noticeable that you need to do more to keep up with it.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like I just want to feel better overall.
Okay. All right. So if you had an ideal world, what kinds of things would you be doing, do you think?
Well, right now, I walk several times a week on my lunch break at work, just when I can. And then right now, every once in a while, maybe 1 or 2 times a week, I'll get up in the mornings and swim at the community pool, which I really like doing the swimming part better. So
you prefer that over walking?
Yeah, I prefer swimming, so I'd much rather spend more time swimming if in an ideal world.
Okay. So when you say you walk several times a week, can you tell me a little bit more about that? Where it is, for how long, or maybe how many times a week?
It's just right outside my office building, so we have a little path, and I just kind of walk maybe 20 minutes,
Okay.
about a mile or so. Maybe 3 to 4 times a week. Sometimes I work all the way through my lunch break though, so it just depends how busy the week is.
Sure. Sometimes that work just keeps piling up.
Sure does.
Okay. Well, that's a really good start, and that helps me start to zero in on where to go with this. But I wondered if you would be willing to fill out a worksheet for me, and this worksheet is called the Behavioral Palette Worksheet, and it will just give me an idea of what you're used to doing, but then also maybe have you think about what would be a new and exciting form of exercise or physical activity, and then also a challenging mode of exercise or physical activity. There's a spot for 3 different exercises under each. You don't have to do all 3, but in this first one, you're just going to write down what you prefer to do, so swimming, walking, and then your confidence experience with that. The next one would be something that would be new and exciting, that you've thought about trying, something that seems fun. And then the last one is something that would be challenging to you, something that would really kind of push you and your confidence experience with that. Then on the next page, I just want to kind of get an idea of what would be an ideal environment for you. So if you could write down proximity of where you would do this form of exercise, what the environment is like in terms of the aesthetics, and then how you could make it more interesting in terms of like if you could do that with a friend, or if you could just find some way to make it a more interesting environment. So I'll give you a few minutes, take your time, and if you get stuck, I'll help you.
All right, thanks.
Mm-hmm.
I think I have everything.
Okay, great. Do you mind if we talk through it a little bit?
Sure.
Okay.
That's a good idea.
So I feel like unless you have more to add, we talked about the walking a little bit and the swimming.
Yeah, we did. I just feel pretty confident in those 2 things, so I think I do them more often just because I'm confident that I know how to do them.
Okay. And it sounds like it's also, at least the walking is convenient for you when you have time at lunch.
It's very convenient.
Okay. And that's an important thing. How about the column B? What did you put there?
For new and exciting, I put down possibly taking a Zumba class.
Okay.
I've seen several of my friends try it before, but I've never done it myself. But it looks like a lot of fun, and I could do it with my friends then. So something new, but also maybe a little bit more fun.
Mm-hmm. It's really important to have social connections too when you exercise. Make it a lot more fun, and it almost doesn't seem like so much work. So that's a good idea.
And then the last one, so challenging. I put down weight training with, I have little hand weights in my basement, so I have equipment in my basement, but I just never really like to use it. It's just something that I'm not very confident in, and I don't really like to lift weights that much, so
Okay.
it would definitely be a challenge for me.
So it sounds like you know it would be good for you, but you don't particularly enjoy it at this time.
Yeah, I don't enjoy it so much.
Okay, that's understandable. All right, let's look at the other side.
Okay. So for location 1, I would walk around my office building or go swimming in my community pool. That's a pretty favorable environment for me, so I really enjoy going there. The community pool is familiar to me, so I feel comfortable being there. I could probably make it more interesting. There's a swim club that meets there sometimes like after work, so I could maybe instead of going before work, I could try to go after.
Okay.
Be with a group of people.
Okay.
And then for the weight training, I have, I can either do that at home, but I don't really like to. It's not really a good environment for me because I get distracted easily when I'm at home. There's always things to do. And it's just boring. It's boring for me to be in my basement, by myself, trying to use these weights. But I could also try to do that at the gym, but I don't really like going there either. 'Cause it's always crowded and there's a lot of really just big, fit people there, and I don't really like working out with them. So I don't know, I might feel comfortable working with a personal trainer there, so I know what I'm doing.
At the gym?
Yeah,
Okay.
at my gym. Or maybe even doing a group exercise class. So that way there's more people in the class doing the same thing.
Okay. So strength-based group exercise classes.
Yeah, if they have those. I'm not sure if they do.
Okay. Usually most gyms do. So.
Okay. Yeah, I'll look into that.
Okay. And then what about the Zumba? Have you thought or found any places, or would you like help looking for places?
Maybe a little bit of help. I know my friends go to different gyms, so I might maybe go with them one time. But yeah, if there was one that was really close to where I work, that would be ideal.
Okay. All right, great. Thank you for that. Another worksheet that I just thought I would have in mind for you, since it sounds like exercise is important to you and it's important for your health. It's just hard to make the time for it and fit it into your busy schedule, is to do this worksheet that's called Decisional Balance. And it just really kind of has you think about the benefits and costs to the current behavior, and then what you want to do. So what are the benefits of exercising more? You may even want to think about, since you know that weight training would be good for you, but you really don't like it, even just zeroing in on doing more strength training, the benefits and costs. So, or in other words, the pros of doing it and the cons of doing it. And then just answer these couple of questions below. And again, I'll give you time, take your time, and if you get stuck, let me know, and we'll go over it afterwards.
Okay.
You ready?
Yes, I think so.
Okay, tell me what you got.
So if I don't do any more strength training, and I just keep doing things that I'm doing, one of the pros is I have more time to stay after work and just get more work done.
That's true.
Every day. One of the cons to keeping that though is, I'm not going to get any stronger, and it's going to be harder for me to maybe start this behavior later on when I'm a little bit older in life. So I think the longer I wait, the less likely I am to pick up this behavior. But one of the cons for strength training, I'm going to have just less time overall. So it's going to take into my time when, after I get off work, I just kind of want to go home, make dinner, and just kind of lay on the couch for a while. I'm pretty tired at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
So, but one of the benefits though, I know is going to make me feel healthier overall, and I know it's important to have good muscle strength. So I want to work on that just to keep me healthy when I get older.
Okay.
So I want to change this behavior just to become healthier overall. I heard somewhere that it helps prevent against osteoporosis maybe, so that's something. Oh, does it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, because I know my own mother had that, so I don't want that to happen to me. Some of the most important reasons then are just to stay healthy, and I want to stay healthy for longer for my children too. So I want to be as healthy as I can now to be around longer for them.
Okay, those are very good reasons for being healthy. And the other thing that you may or may not know is you should definitely do the activities that you like to do, and you like to swim, and that's important. But swimming isn't going to provide the bone strengthening, resistance kind of weight bearing exercise that walking is good, because you do that. It does provide that for osteoporosis. But if you were in the pool all the time and not doing any strength training, then you might be still at risk. So it sounds like you're kind of thinking about getting the best of everything.
Yeah, and it definitely makes it sound more important to me.
Okay, good. Well, what I'd like to do next then is just kind of think about your goals, and then I'd like to know a little bit more about what barriers get in the way of you doing. I know you said time, and time is a big one, but to tease that out a little bit more and look at what your daily schedule is like, or how we can maybe overcome some of the barriers that have gotten in the way in the past.
Okay.
So if you turn that page over, think about, if you would write down, your overall goal, I know, is to get healthier, but we like to try to make SMART goals, and SMART stands for specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and then time bound. So I kind of like to start with time first, and then I like to have a short term and at least one long term. So the short term goals and the long term goals, you have to have both, because the short term goals are going to get you to your long term goals. But if you don't have any long term goals, then it's easy to lose sight of why you're trying to do this. So we want to have at least one of each to start with, and we can continue to think about this and refine it before we meet again. But in a short-term goal, what seems like a realistic time frame that you could say focus on the process? So for short-term goals, we like to focus on the process, not necessarily the outcome, but the process is what you can do in terms of maybe days of the week, intensity, how long you exercise for, the types of things you do. You have control over that. What seems like a realistic time frame to do a goal by?
Probably within the next month or two.
Okay. Could we say 1 month? Would that be okay?
Yeah, that sounds okay.
So we'll say within the next month. That's the T. If you really think about all the things that are important to you and what you would like to do, what would be a specific, measurable, achievable thing to do in the next month?
I'd have to go with strength training.
Okay.
So if I could work on strength training just even one time a week by the next month, I think that would be a huge step for me.
Sure. And guidelines are 2 times a week, so you'd be halfway there in a month.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's
That's
not
as much as I thought.
right. If you can dedicate the time. So go ahead and write down how many, you said once a week. And then what about your overall long-term goal? What would you like to be? Now that can be more outcome-based.
Well, I'd like to get up to those guidelines, but I think maybe I'd like to lose a little bit of weight too.
Okay.
So maybe in the long term, and I'm sure strength training will help with that.
Sure, absolutely.
So maybe if I could lose maybe 15 pounds by 6 months, so by the summer, that sounds like a good goal.
All right, so let's do the math. So 6 months, about 4 weeks a month, that's 24 weeks. So that sounds realistic.
Oh, okay.
You can lose, if you're really working at it, maybe up to a pound a week or so. So half a pound a week seems very achievable.
Okay.
Let's go ahead. Okay, good deal. Now, having goals is important, but having a plan is also important. So you may need to do some homework and think about this and come back with it. But we know that you don't really care to do the weights in your basement.
No.
And that's okay. I know my basement is cold and dark, and I'm afraid spiders are going to come and get me. So you also mentioned the personal trainer idea or the group exercise classes. So if you were to say right now, which one would you feel more comfortable with?
Probably the group exercise. I don't know if I want to invest money into a personal trainer right now.
Okay.
Because I don't know if I'm going to stick with this.
Okay.
So I kind of want to wait for that month and see if it's something that I'm actually going to be able to do.
Right.
On my schedule.
Kind of see how it feels and.
Yeah.
Sure. Okay. So maybe that'll be kind of your homework before next time, is to look at your gym schedule and see when those classes are. Now, what kinds of resources do you have in terms of social support or a buddy or anything like that?
Well, my husband doesn't like to work out at all.
Okay.
So, he would prefer me to just go home after work and to be with him. But a few of my friends do that Zumba. Maybe I can see if they want to go to the gym with me.
Okay.
Go maybe one day a week with me.
Girls' night out, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. A good short-term goal of starting strength training once a week within the next month, and a good long-term goal of losing 15 pounds in about 6 months. In regards to the strength training, on a scale of 1 to 10, with 1 being not at all important and 10 being very, very important, what number would you say it is in terms of importance to you that you start weight training?
Probably about a 7. I know it's important, but I haven't done it so far, so I feel like it wouldn't be too bad if I didn't do it going forward.
Okay. What would it take to go from, say, a 7 to an 8 or a 9?
I think I would just need some accountability. Told me to go to the gym and actually do that strength training workout.
Okay. So if you had talked about having going to a group exercise class, do you think that would give you that accountability, or would a personal trainer give you the accountability? Or
yeah, because then I think I would know the people in the class, and then it would feel more important because I feel like I needed to go because of them. Same thing with the trainer. I don't want to just waste that money or leave them waiting for me.
That's true. Okay. What about confidence? Same thing, same kind of question, but let's talk about confidence now. So on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being not at all confident, 10 being very, very confident, what would you rate your confidence for doing strength training?
Probably like a 2 right now. I'm not very confident that, I'll know what to do, in terms of strength training. I might go to the gym and then I might just get sidetracked and not really know what to do with the equipment.
Okay. So 2 is higher than the 0, so it sounds like you have some confidence that you could do it. You probably have you done something in the past? Or?
Yeah, I've just been at home though, so I didn't have the pressure of people, looking at me and wondering what I was doing, so I just kind of did whatever I knew how to do in my home.
Okay. What would it take to go from a 2 to, say, a 4 or a 5?
Probably working with somebody who knows what they're doing, so those personal training, group exercise classes, it would help me make sure that I'm doing the right thing, so I wouldn't feel self-conscious going to the gym.
Okay, all right. So I think we've done a lot already today. We've talked about what kind of exercises you would like to do, which kind of your overall goals are, the pros and cons of changing your behavior and beginning strength training. And we've even set a short-term and a long-term goal. So for next time, what I would like to do is really work on an action plan of how we're going to carry this out. I'd also like to think about what barriers will come up and how you could overcome those barriers. And then I know that you were talking about maybe doing an exercise class that had strength training or Zumba or a personal trainer. So if you wanted to look into that kind of as homework, see what options are available, then the next time we meet, we can finish that action plan, the coping planning of what barriers we think might come up and how to overcome them, and then have you sign an exercise contract so that you have that accountability. And we can even do a fitness assessment if you would like.
Okay, yeah, that sounds good.
That would give us baseline numbers to work with, and then you can see how much you've improved once you get started and you're monitoring your progress.
Sure, that sounds great.
Okay, so let's go ahead and look at the calendars to schedule for next time, probably within a week or so. Does that sound doable with your schedule?
Yeah, I could do Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday next week.
All right, great. We'll get that scheduled and go from there.
All right, well, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.